Good morning students. After finishing Unit 1 and Unit 2, it's time for Unit 3, Water, Water Everywhere. From the name you can assume that it is about water. Let's see what this unit contains. Textbook page number 21, Activity 1. This unit is about the water that is necessary for life on our planet. Look at the picture. Write the names of as many objects as you can. What is happening to the water in the picture? This is the picture given. I know you have studied this in science, that this is the cycle of water. The objects in the picture are sun, cloud, raindrops. Green portion is to be assumed as nature, plants and trees, and the water is the water sources like lakes or oceans. So what is happening to water? Water is getting evaporated by the heat of sun. After condensing, it is forming in clouds, and after that, as rain, it falls. That rainfall is absorbed by the nature like trees and plants, and again it goes back to the water sources. This is the water cycle. Activity 2 is a story about Water Boy. Vijay liked to play with water. He liked to play with water in many ways. He liked to fill up a big tub with water and play with his toy boat in there. You know what are toy boats? And he liked to fill up big tub with water and played with it. He liked to make big mud puddles in the garden and pretend it was a lake. Puddles are a small pool of usually dirty or muddy water. So he used to make puddles in the garden and pretend it was a lake and act like it was a lake. He liked to open the hose and splash his friends when they walked by. Hose is a long plastic or rubber pipe we use for gardening or spraying water when required. So he used to open the hose and splash his friends when they walked by. His mother told him many times not to waste water, but he did not listen. One day, his mother decided to take him with her to visit her brother. Vijay's uncle stayed in a small village. Vijay was very happy to go because he would be able to play with his cousins. When Vijay did not listen to his mother, she decided to take him to visit her brother, to take Vijay to his mama's place. Vijay's uncle stayed in a small village, and Vijay was very happy to go because he would be able to play with his cousins. Vijay and his mother arrived at his uncle's place late at night, and Vijay went off to sleep. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, Vijay woke up. There was a lot of noise outside his room. Vijay could not understand why so many people were awake at night, but he was very tired. Very soon, he fell back to sleep. Now they arrived at the village late at night, and as Vijay was tired, he went to sleep. Suddenly, in the middle of night means around between 12 to 3, Vijay woke up. Why did he wake up? Because there was a lot of noise outside his room. Vijay could not understand why so many people were awake at night. But he was very tired. Very soon he fell back to sleep. What do you think will be the reason that there is so much noise going outside at the middle of the night? Do you think there was a robbery or there were thieves? What could be the reason that so many people are awake in the middle of the night? But Vijay could not understand anything. So, and as he was very tired, he went back to sleep. The next morning, Vijay got up and went to the bathroom. When he opened the tap, there was no water. He looked around and found water stored in many buckets. He was surprised and asked his cousin about it. Next morning when he woke up and went to the bathroom, there was no water in the tap. And when he looked around, he found water stored in buckets. He was not able to understand why water is stored like this and there is no water in the no water is coming from the tap. So he asked his cousin. His cousin Rajesh explained that there was no water anywhere. It had not rained for a couple of years and all the lakes had dried up. They had to depend on some water that come from one tap, and they had to keep awake to see that they did not miss it, as it could come any day and any time. Now his cousin Rajesh explained that there was no water anywhere. In the whole village there was no water. From a couple of years there was no rain, and due to the condition of drought, all the lakes had dried up. People had to depend on some water that came from one tap. One municipal tap was there in the village, and they had to depend on it for water. It may come any time, any day. So last night the water came in the middle of the night, and so they all were had gathered to collect water. They could not miss it. Last night, luckily the water had come, but it might be days before it came again. Till then, they would have to only use the water they had collected in the night. Rajesh told Vijay to be careful and not to waste water. If the family ran out of water, they would have to buy water from someone else, and it was very expensive. Rajesh told that last night the water had come, so people had gathered for that. But it might be many days before it came again. Next time when water will come, they don't know. It may be after many days. So they have to use the water carefully and they cannot waste it. If the family ran out of water, to run out of something means when it gets over, when you still need it but you don't have it. So if the family ran out of water, they would have to buy water from someone else. There are companies which provide water, but they charge for it, and it was very expensive. If there is water shortage and people have water, and if they are selling it, they will sell it for high prices. So if they need to buy water, it will be very expensive. Rajesh gave Vijay some examples of ways to use water wisely. He gave Vijay a glass of water and told him to use it for brushing his teeth. He told Vijay to take a bath with a very small amount of water in a bucket. He told Vijay to save the water used for washing his clothes so it could be used again later. Now, when you brush your teeth, normally you turn on the tap, let the tap running while you are brushing your teeth. That way, lots of water just goes off the drain. So he gave a glass of water. From that glass, you can wash your toothbrush, uh, brush your teeth, and then wash the toothbrush again, and even gargle yourself. He told Vijay to take a bath with a very small amount of water in a bucket. When you take a shower, much more water is wasted than it is used. So, using a bucket will save water. He told Vijay to save the water used for washing his clothes so it could be used again later. The water used for washing clothes, instead of just throwing it away, it can be stored and used again for some other purpose. Vijay was surprised, like, how can there be a place where there is no water or water is so scarce? So his cousin laughed, who was actually living at that place. Rajesh laughed at him and said that you use too much water every day. Soon there will be less rain due to the deforestation, due to the chemicals, pollution and all those things. There will be lesser rain now. And even in the cities, people may face the same problem that the villagers are facing. So we must learn to save water. That was the chapter water boy. Last year also we studied a chapter about water. What the water felt, like why it is being wasted so much. The thing which these chapters want to convey is you should learn. You are young, you are a child. If you encourage or if you cultivate the habit of saving water, it will be helpful for you. So the main thing is save water and save life. That's what the earth needs. That's all for today. We'll do the meanings and exercise in the next class.